Hello everyone! Today I'm going to tell you about a really cool tool called Insert Learning. This is their homepage here. It's really easy to find. Just go to insertlearning.com. And as it says at the top here, what this tool is meant to do is allow you to insert instructional content on any web page. So you're taking pre-existing resources, expanding them, and finding opportunities to add engagement and additional context. I'll show you exactly what that means a little bit later. But first, how do you get started? Well, you'll see this big green button at the bottom of the page. I happen to be using Firefox, so it says Add to Firefox, but it works on many different browsers. Click that button and install the add-on that it asks about. And then you just click this button, Log In, to create an account. To create an account, you just need a Google or a Microsoft account. Either will work. I'll sign in with Google, and I already created an account with my U of M email, but it's really easy to do. You just need your email, your password, and then to choose whether you're a student or a teacher. But you can actually change back and forth at any time. So once you've created your account, the first thing you'll want to do is go into this Classes tab at the top. I've got one pre-made class already, but making a new one is really easy. Hit New Class, create a class, and then put in whatever you want the name of that class to be, or you can import from Google Classroom. And there's my class. Now right now it doesn't have any students in it. In order to enroll students, they will need their own Insert Learning account, but again, it's completely free and all they need is an email. Their school email will work great for this. Once they've got their account set up, just give them this class code here, and that will get them enrolled as a student. So I've got my class set up, my students are going to be enrolled, but Cool Class currently doesn't have any lessons in it. Well, if I want to start out by seeing what other people have done before I dive into my own lesson, I can go to this Public Library tab at the top. This is going to show me lessons that other creators have made and decided to share publicly, and you always get the choice of whether you want your lessons to be public or private, so don't worry about other teachers seeing your unfinished work. The library has a lot of different topics, not as much as we might hope. Insert Learning seems to be a fairly new tool, but I can narrow down by subject area, by grade level, I can look for a specific creator if I know their name, or I can search by topic. But maybe the pre-made lessons aren't really doing it for me. And if you like a pre-made lesson, you can copy it directly and share it with your students, but if you want to create your own, it's really easy to do that. I can go to any website, let's say the CEHD website on the University of Minnesota server, and all I have to do is click my little Insert Learning extension that I installed at the beginning. If I click that and give it a moment to load, it'll pop up this Insert Learning toolbar on the left, which shows me the different options. You can see that it's pretty simple. There's really 4 options. Highlight text, insert a sticky note, insert a question, or insert a discussion. Pretty straightforward. And all of these tools do exactly what they sound like. If I want to highlight text, I just click it, drag over any text that I want to highlight, and release, and it's highlighted. Well, yellow doesn't look great on yellow, so maybe I'm going to change the color. Yeah, I like green. Or I want to add a note to it, just hit that plus, type in whatever note I want, and now when a student opens this lesson, all they have to do is click that and they can see my, in this case, not very useful note. To add in a question, I just click question, click my piece there, and I can add something in. But this particular page doesn't give me a lot to work with, so let me go over to a lesson that I've already made. This reading might look a little familiar to some of you. So again, you can see I can add my highlighting, and I can add longer, more helpful notes for my students. Is this a common or a radical mindset? I can also use my normal tools. So let's say it's talking about, all these different ways to use Universal Design for Learning. Maybe I want to add a question in here and say, what would your approach be? I can choose how many points I want it to be, including 0, and if I don't want to write my own question from scratch, I can also choose one of their pre-written questions. Hit create, and that question now exists on this web page. When students access the web page through the lesson, they'll see this question, and they can add their responses. Now, questions are a private response, only the teacher can see them. So if I want more collaboration, that's where insert a discussion comes in. Maybe I want to add a discussion in this idea about the different approaches to UDL and say, oh, what makes an effective classroom for you? What helps you learn? Well, I hit create discussion, and now all my students can see that and respond, and when they respond, they can see their peers' responses as well. Or as a teacher, I can sort my responses by classroom, or once students start responding, by individual student. Now that's all pretty cool, but I've also got this insert sticky note function. So maybe I want to just add something in here. I can add text, I can add an image, or I can drop a YouTube link in there and suddenly I have an embedded video. YouTube is an easy option, but other videos will work as well, or embed codes, so this is incredibly flexible. So even though Insert Learning only has these 4 simple tools, I think there are a lot of ways you can use them in a flexible manner to meet students' needs. For one thing, this sticky note adding in extra videos or resources can add a lot of context and help students make connections all in one place. Or my discussions and my questions can make students more engaged and also add a collaborative, interactive aspect. Even the highlighting can be used to meet students' needs. Let's take my blue highlight here, Metamorphosis. I've added a note here that not only adds the English definition, but also adds the translation into a few languages. If I know the needs of my students, I can use highlighting and the notes aloud to add in a lot of scaffolding and make these resources so much more accessible for them. But there's one other way that I'm really excited about using this tool, and that's having students as teachers. As I said before, you can change between a student account and a teacher account at any time, so it'd be really easy for students to create their own lessons and share them with their classmates, giving them an opportunity to highlight what's important, come up with questions, start discussions, and add in extra resources, really taking ownership of the material. One downside to Insert Learning is that with a free account, if I go back to my Lessons tab here, with a free trial I can only store up to 5 lessons. So unfortunately, there are some options that are a little limited there. You can always subscribe for a paid account, but even in a free account, it wouldn't be that hard to store just 5 lessons at a time and cycle through them as needed. And as you can see, that lesson that I added earlier, it pops up right there, ready to be assigned to my students at any time. So I hope you'll all explore Insert Learning a little bit and find new ways that it can expand these existing resources and make them right for your classroom.